students, welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. In the previous classes we had read the division of economic activities as primary, secondary and tertiary. The criterion used for the division was the nature of activity. On the basis of this classification, we had analyzed the pattern of total production and employment in India. Today, we will read another way to classify the economic activities on the basis of employment conditions, or you can say the conditions of work. Two small stories are given in your textbook. One is the story of Kanta and the other story of Kamal. Let us see Kanta's story first. Kanta works in an office. The working hours of the office is morning 9:30 till evening 5:30. When she joined the office, she was given an appointment letter stating all terms and conditions of work. She gets her salary timely at the end of every month. She gets a holiday on Sunday. This is a paid holiday. In addition to the salary, she also gets Provident Fund as per rules. She also gets medical and other allowances. Let us see the story of Kamal now. He is a daily wage earner in a grocery shop. He works there from morning 8:30 till late evening 8 o'clock. He has no Sundays, no holidays, no leave. He gets no allowances other than his wages. He was not given any appointment letter. He can be asked to leave anytime by his employer. These two stories clearly show the difference in the conditions of work between Kanta and Kamal. So the two sectors we are going to discuss today are organized and unorganized sectors. Kanta works in an organized sector. Everything looks so organized here, isn't it? So what do we mean by organized sector? Organized sector covers those enterprises or places of work where the terms of employment are regular and therefore people have assured work. They are registered by the government. They have to follow its various rules and regulations which are given in various laws like Factories Act, Minimum Wages Act, etc. Examples for organized sectors are Indian government jobs, banks, large-scale private companies, government schools and colleges. So, what are the benefits that you get? When you work in an organized sector, you have security of employment. You simply cannot be removed on unreasonable issues. You are expected to work only a fixed number of hours. If you work more, you will be paid allowances for overtime work. You all must have seen people doing overtime, particularly in the factories. You get paid leave, payment during holidays, Provident Fund, gratuity, etc. You will get medical facilities. You get safe and secure working environment. And finally, the most important, you get pension after retirement. Coming to unorganized sectors now. Unorganized sectors is characterized by small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of the government. There are rules and regulations, but these are not followed. Can you employ a child under 14 years as labor? But it is a common scene near bus stand or railway stations, a small child serving tea or washing plates. Jobs are often low paid and not regular. Examples of organized sectors are shopkeeping, farming, domestic works, laboring, rickshaw pulling, etc. Workers in the unorganized sectors are denied all the benefits that workers in the organized sector enjoy. That means there is no provision of overtime, paid leaves, holidays, leave due to sickness, etc. Employment is also not secure. People can be asked to leave anytime. Students, this is a very simple lesson and questions asked are direct questions like how are the activities in the economy classified on the basis of employment conditions? If it is 1 mark question, simply write organized and unorganized. If it is 3 marks, you can explain them within the word limits as explained just now. See what was asked in 2020. Explain the main advantage of organized sector in respect of employment. 1 mark CBSE 2020. That means you have to write only one main advantage that you feel. Maybe job security, fixed working hours, or the benefits. See the question below. It was asked in 2018. Distinguish the service conditions of organized sector with that of unorganized sector. 3 marks. CBSE 2018. Here you can write in separate paragraphs or make a table and write. Now I ask you a question. Suppose you are in need of a job. Where would you like to work? In an organized sector or an unorganized sector? Your answer will be organized sector. Yes or no? Yes. In fact, everybody wants to work in an organized sector. But the employment opportunities in the organized sectors are limited. They are growing very slowly. People working in unorganized sectors are not there by choice. They are there by compulsion. People are accepting the jobs in unorganized sector because of widespread unemployment, even at the cost of their exploitation. Look at the question that was asked in the board examination 2020. There is a need for protection and support for the workers in the unorganized sector. Evaluate the statement. 3 marks. What we are going to write here. Workers are often exploited and not paid fair wages. Their earnings are low and irregular. Their job is insecure and there are no other benefits. Let us now see who are vulnerable people who need protection and how they can be helped. In the rural areas, they are landless agricultural laborers, small and marginal farmers, sharecroppers, artisans like weavers, blacksmiths, carpenters, etc. It also includes plantation labor, handloom workers, fishermen, weavers, toddy tappers, beedi workers, etc. Sharecroppers are small farmers or tenants. Sharecropping is done when a landowner allows a tenant to use the land in return for a share of the crops produced on the land. In Hindi, it is called bataidar. The small and marginal farmers, who comprise about 80% of the rural household, can be supported through adequate facility for timely delivery of seeds, agriculture inputs, credits, storage facilities and marketing outlets. In the urban areas, people in the unorganized sectors are workers in small-scale industries, casual workers in construction, trade and transport, etc., street vendors, head load workers, rag pickers, etc. Government should ensure that the rules of ESI, PF and other labor rules also apply in this sector. Government can support the small-scale industry in procuring them raw materials and marketing of outputs. This can be done by providing them loan facilities at a low rate of interest. As far as health is concerned, most of the people working in unorganized sectors nowadays are covered under the National Health Insurance Scheme under Ayushman Bharat. Besides, there are a majority of workers from scheduled castes and tribes and also backward communities found in unorganized sector. They are not only exploited but also face discrimination. Hence, protection and support to the unorganized sector is necessary for both economic and social development. Thus, we have covered the organized and unorganized sector today. I hope you all must have understood it properly. After you have watched the video, you must go through your textbooks properly. In the next class, we will learn one more way of classifying economic activities. Till then, keep reading and have a nice time. Thank you.